Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. Today, we're going to talk about Trials of Reckoning, specifically the Final Fantasy IV Trials of Reckoning, and the best strategies that I found so far, what's going to be the optimal farming, and how you should go about pulling with your tokens. So let's talk about farming optimally, because there's a lot of discussion on this about hard 3 versus normal 5. And of course, normal 5 is 6 NRG, and then hard 3 is 12 NRG. And people are saying, well, hard is better, well, normal is better. And I could try and convince you either way. The reality is, though, that normal 5 is going to be better. And instead of trying to put it in my own words, I'm just going to quote Linnedle from Reddit. And Linne, if you're here, or if you are in my comment section right now, thank you so much for doing the math and talking about it in your post. I think it was absolutely wonderful to see this. So he goes down, or she breaks down the difference between normal 5 and hard 3, right? And I'm aware it says normal 1 in the chat right there, but he's referring to the normal one, not normal 1. So if you divide by the energy cost, 1.15 divided by 6 versus 1.996 divided by 12, you're going to get 0.19 versus 0.16. So normally 5 is about 15% better, even taking into account the 6 extra spawns in hard 3. So normal, if you do have the time to run it and you don't necessarily care about your score, normal is going to be the better route to go. Now, there is another guide out there that says you should farm hard 3 until your score hits 500,000 points. Now, if you are going to be going for a +5 weapon, I would recommend just farming normal 5 and just like grinding the hell out of that, because honestly, you're gonna hit that 500,000 points no matter what. So there really is no point in suboptimally farming hard 3 just for the score, unless you're really caring about your score and, you know, doing really good and being top of the leaderboard. Number 5 is really going to be the way to go, and you're going to hit that 500,000 point threshold, which you need to hit. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I am talking about the score rewards here. So hitting that 500,000 point threshold for the Elven Bow +2 up here, and of course the 50 extra summons that come with it. So that's kind of what the discussion is mostly around. I personally will be farming normal 5. If you don't really have the time to spend farming, but you need to use up your NRG, like let's say your emulator broke while you were at work for the day or something, farm hard 3, right? Because it costs more NRG, but the biggest limitation on this event is your NRG, right? Like, it's the biggest limitation. You literally need to use like all your NRG to farm the shit out of this if you want to get a, you know, weapon at the appropriate level and so on. So make sure you're using all of that, and make sure you are planning accordingly. Now, let's talk about event summons. And this is a really important conversation, and I think a lot of people don't realize how important this conversation is to have, because this could be the difference in terms of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of energy, wasted time, and resources, depending on how you approach these boxes. So let's take a look at this. So there are 5 different boxes, right? And then on each box, there is a main reward. Now, in order to ascend to the next floor, or to reset it, you need to gain the main reward. And at the top, on tier 5, there is no main reward. However, it does constantly reset when you do it every single time. And you need to have about 550 tokens, 575 tokens, somewhere in there, in order to reset it. So each tier has about 550 tokens. So what does that mean to you? What's the cost of 500 tokens, right? Well, if you go and you break down the math, the cost of about 500 tokens is really dependent on how strong you do against the boss. For me, if I maintained my current rates, which is about 18 tickets per boss that I get, or tokens, then it would cost me about anywhere between 4,500 to 5,000 NRG to completely earn 550 tokens. And that's a lot of NRG, guys, right? And thankfully, we are getting 1,000 NRG gifted to us daily right now. However, if you don't have access to large NRG resources, this is going to be really important for you to listen to. So you can move the box up without getting all of the rewards. And the rewards that are the most important are going to be the actual weapons. So that would be the Wind Spear +1. It's going to be the actual recipes, right? Everything else you can pretty much get, right? Everything else you can kind of get by clearing the boss battle and doing all of that. But all of this you can get elsewhere, and it's not as important, right? So I'm on tier 3 right now, and you can see that, pop on this side, I still need to get the Rainbow Fragment, I still need to get the Wind Spear, and I still need to get the recipes for my Wind Spear. And I am going to be chasing the Elven Bow just because it's such a powerful bow, and I'm ascending myself anyway. So I am going to get the bow. So when I look at this, there's only a couple items I care about. The bow crafting recipes, the spear crafting recipes, the spear, and the Rainbow Fragment of Thought. As soon as I get those, I'm going to reset the box and move up. Why am I going to do that? Well, you get better as you're moving up, right? You have a better percentage chance to get a spear. Does that make sense? Because notice when you go to the lineups, tier 3 has 4 recipes. Suddenly, tier 4 has 10 spear recipes. Suddenly, tier 5 has 10 spear recipes as well. So if you want to follow the optimal farming route for your spear recipes, you are going to want to get to tier 5 as fast as possible. Why is that? Well, there's a couple reasons for this. One of the reasons is that by getting to tier 5 and clearing out all of tier 5, you will not have enough recipes to make a +5 weapon. If my math is correct, it might be a little bit off. Looking at the amount of recipes that it takes to build a +5 weapon, it looks like you would need 3 more in the second box of a tier 5. If you got all the recipes between tier 1 and 5, if you got the +2 weapons from the tickets and the score, the +1 from the tickets and the score, the 6 from the score reward, the 1 from the normal boss, and the 3 from the hard boss, it would still take 3 more recipes to get through it. So you need to consider that you're basically, as your job trying to farm this, you are trying to get these recipes as fast as humanly possible, right? Because let's say right now in box 3, I pulled all of the spear recipes, all of the spears, and the Rainbow Fragment, right? And I'm like, awesome, I could reset and move up, or I could do like 400 more tokens. And what does 400 tokens translate into energy? Is way too much, right? Like, it's a crazy amount of energy. So the idea of having a focus for farming before you move up the tier is really important, and you really have to understand this concept of the recipes are valuable, the main items are valuable, and the equipment is valuable. Otherwise, move on up. Keep it moving, keep it going, because you need to get these weapons, you need to get these recipes, and if you like bottom out on every single tier and like empty it entirely out, sorry, I'm hitting my microphone right now, you are going to waste so much time in this challenge. It's going to literally just like drain your life, drain your game resources away, and potentially not even be worth it, right? The difference between an Assault Ice Lance and a critical hit rate Wind Spear, right, are so, like, it's literally like 11 accuracy and 11 crit or something like that. It's not crazy. Like, that is not worth the amount of grind you would do on every single stage. So make sure you're moving through this smartly, make sure you're making the correct decisions, and make sure you're just being smart about how you move through this. Let's talk about the event, or the boss battle, because the boss battle is going to be really important too, because the amount you have to farm is dictated by how good you do on the boss battle. There are a couple different approaches people have been taking. You always want to farm the hard if you can. You don't want to farm the normal because the normal is just not worth it. The hard mode I've actually cleared a couple times now, and I've been using a Pierce comp, and Glaciella is essential. So if you are planning on going the Pierce comp route, do know that Glaciella is essential if you are going for the Pierce chaining route. I would argue that it would potentially be very difficult for you to clear this without Glaciella in a Pierce comp. Now, there are many other comps that are completely viable for this. Right now, I'm averaging about 3.5 to 4K on my clears. There's another user, his name is Akito, who posted a clear of his light slash comp, which is also doing about 3.5 to 4K as well. He's a pretty average player, and I would say I'm a pretty average player in terms of like, I am not crazy hardcore, right? And he was able to clear it with his light slash comp with only Cecil as a bonus unit and average about 3,500 to 4,000 as well. And not only that, he had Ramza as 99, but then he brought in his Cecil 79, his like King Rob 69. Like there was just a lot of units that were under leveled, but he was utilizing them for their chain bonus and their damage. So you don't have to have every single unit 99 to be successful in this, right? And I think that's important to know, that as long as you go into it with the right strategies, you're going to be okay. And I will post his video down in the description down below. Steal time is going to be essential because essentially you're going to be elemental chaining and burning him down. Another thing that's really essential is that you understand to buff your characters and wait at the beginning. I was wondering whether or not I should post a video here showing you guys my clear with my Pierce comp, but I'm really going to wait until my Kane gets 99 because I don't want to waste any more tickets like challenging him and testing out different strategies until I get my Kane 99 and fully leveled up. So I'm only going to be farming tickets for the next few days, but make sure you check out Akito's video if you're looking for a little bit help or guidance. And I'll definitely be posting my video later this week. If you didn't know though, literally Golbez will come to you. If you just buff your characters and leave them in the entrance, you're okay. So you don't need to worry about getting swarmed by enemies. Just let Golbez come to you. He will come to you after 2 turns. And at that point, all of your characters should be buffed. And it's literally just time to completely unleash on him. All right, guys, I hope you all found this video somewhat useful. As always, if you are planning on supporting me, you could use my affiliate link dig.gs/coins or dig.gs/offer when you do purchase any Visior. And as always, everyone, I look forward to seeing you in my Discord, and I look forward to your YouTube comments down below. Thank you so much.